What?
Is Darren supposed to be speaking?
That's
Oh.
her though.
We got a time. Okay, come on, timer.
Come on, timer.
Timer.
Welcome to Toy With Me. My name is Jerome Montgomery, and I have the honor of serving as the Executive Director of Project Vita. Toy With Me is our monthly live and live streaming event where we discuss and explore ways of creating a spicier, safer sexual experience through education on the use of adult toys, as well as an exploration of kink and fetish. Here at Toy With Me, we promote sex positivity and embrace all gender-loving communities. Toy With Me events are sponsored and produced by Project Vita, a nonprofit organization located on the southwest side of Chicago, where we provide a host of low-cost or free services to the community, including behavioral health services, case management services, food pantry services, acupuncture and massage, as well as rental and utility assistance. Once again, we would like to show you how grateful we are by joining us tonight. We encourage you or welcome you to just sit back and enjoy, or join us in the conversation by dropping your questions or comments into the chat, and one of the individuals on screen will be happy to answer your questions. At this time, I would like to ask you to join me in welcoming the gentlemen of ONYX Midwest.
With us today.
I'm Pup Cariño, or Cariño Blaze ONYX.
And yeah, welcome back, guys. We are live from LoveFest here in Hyde. Oral fixation, oral pleasure,
The topic is orally gifted.
or is that what we're calling it?
I thought that's what you said it was. I don't know. Right.
Yeah, we're going to be talking all things oral today. Yeah, we'll be talking about all things oral. How do you feel about oral?
I love that, actually. I mean, I'm a big old bottom, but like I enjoy oral more than other things. So,
Same.
like the most.
Same. I would
Yeah.
definitely say that I definitely enjoy definitely more of the giver than the receiver.
Yeah, I enjoy giving rather than receiving myself as well, because I'm like, don't worry about me. Like I got me. Like you, let me and defeat the Huns. So
So let me ask you this question, because I'll answer it myself. So I guess the question is, what are some of your stories, your firsthand stories of oral
story time?
yeah,
Well,
oral sex?
I guess story time for me will be. There's been a few. Actually, it's become like an occurrence that I'm kind of. People have left a little bit, I guess, disoriented. They don't know where's left and right, or they'll be like, "Oh, do I exit this like downstairs, upstairs? Like, girl, you came upstairs to get to my place. Like, why are you trying to go upstairs?" Or there was like a play party that we had actually, and someone went up the stairs, and they were like, everyone was like, "Are you okay?" And he was just like wobbling around. So, yeah, I guess I factory reset people after. That's my story time. So.
Yeah, I think, like I said, like I've always really enjoyed giving oral more than I enjoy receiving it, mostly because of the fact that I identify as a side. I answer for you, right?
Yeah, I tend to like be like, let me focus on me when I want to, because if I get off, then I don't want to even finish doing anything. I'm like,
Right.
okay, like I'm done. I don't like to do that to people. I don't like to make people feel like bad about like. I'm just like, if I don't finish, we could keep going for hours. But if I do, then it's like, got it.
I will say I have with the first time I think I gave oral to a trans man, and that was very interesting because that was my first encounter with somebody who identifies as a man, and they were very thoughtful and very guiding and nurturing in how a very random story.
Yeah,
And
but I mean, I think that communication's very important that we don't even get from, if it's just two guys doing some stuff, like that communication doesn't. So like if you're talking with a guy that actually knows how to communicate, then whether they have a penis or a vagina, like the communication's an important part.
oh, they
So,
were very pleased, what they enjoy, what they don't enjoy. It made for a very wonderful experience. It was my first time, so I was like, yay, it was great.
yeah, that's always a good time.
So we talked a little bit about our stories, a little, reminiscent of down memory lane of our experiences with oral sex. Let's dive into our toy box. So a link below. You'll click the link and we send you a test in the mail. You do the test, you send it back, you'll receive a box full of goodies, full of knickknacks, tickle your fancy. Like I said, it's a toy box for free. All you have to do is go to the link below, click on it. Project Vita will send you a form, fill the form out, they'll send you a test, do the test, and you'll receive a free box of just random goodies that hopefully can spice up your love life.
Yeah, and you get to have free testing like in your house, like in a more private setting instead of going to a doctor, that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
You get tested at home. Like, who doesn't like that comfort, And you just send it back in the mail and get your toy box.
Absolutely.
Have some
absolutely.
fun.
I wish we had one right here. I could just kind of like dig in and show the people what we have.
I think we did, but it's being put away.
It's somewhere over there. Let's really get into the meat and potatoes of this conversation, right?
Yeah.
Do you know the anatomy of a penis?
I mean, I know, yeah, I guess. I don't know specific things for it, but I know like what I have and what other people have. I know where there's the balls and the
Okay.
shaft and the head.
Okay.
And if
Okay.
someone's uncut, then
Do you know the areas of focus when you're giving oral?
for me, I actually focus in the entire crotch area. Like it's not, you're not just sucking on something. You're paying attention to balls. You're paying attention to inner thigh and everything. You're paying attention to like the taint and like going just full service. So you shouldn't, in my opinion, it's not just, you know, in and out. It's licking around. It's all these other things too.
Okay.
So
Well, for the people at home that don't know, let's imagine that this is your penis, right? So you have the glands, which are the head of the penis. You have the body, which is the shaft. You have the scrotum, which is the skin, and then you have the testes, which are the balls. And then right underneath here, I forget the name of it, your taint. And there's a scientific name for it. It is called.
what is it called?
It is called something. It is called. Researching it. It is called the perineum. So right back here, right in between the anus and the scrotum, is a thing called the perineum. It's also known as the taint. Surface the taint later, right? So when I was researching this, because you know we're not all experts, right?
Right.
So when I was researching it, it definitely said you want to focus on the head, because where the head is where the most areas of focus would be the scrotum or the balls. And if the person, and I want to stress this enough, if the person gives consent, this should be the taint or the perineum, because the perineum is also known as an erogenous zone. And erogenous zones are areas of the body that don't get enough love and can often be stimulated. Right? We talk about the inner, in previous classes we've talked about the inner arm, we've talked about the elbow, we've talked about the feet. The taint is one of those areas that's very sensitive. And again, with consent, that is definitely an area of focus that you should focus on when you're giving oral.
Yeah, I think it's important to know just any part, because there are some people that I've talked to that they're like, no, I only want it sucked. I don't want my balls touched. They're a little bit too sensitive. They'll say even the same about, you know, the taint or the perineum. And actually, it's another thing to keep in mind if someone is circumcised or not circumcised, the head can actually be a little bit too sensitive to people that are uncircumcised as well. So sometimes, even though all the sensitivity only on the head, that sort of thing as well. So it's just, again, going back to what we said earlier, communication is very important, and people need to not be afraid of, you know, even if it's someone that you're just meeting or if it's someone that you've done stuff a lot with, like, communicate on what's good and what's not, or else if there's something bad, it's going to stay bad unless you speak up about it. And feedback is always a good thing, even in the bedroom. So, you know, don't be mad if someone's like, yeah, I don't like when you suck me that way. Like, just be like, oh, okay, well, can you show me how to do it? You can also turn it into that. Or you can turn it into, okay, well, then, like, tell me while I'm doing it, like, what of, oh yeah, like that, all that sort of stuff, can be a turn on and turn the scene into something even more enjoyable.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. I think communication, especially when it comes to oral sex, communication is key, because not everything fits everyone. Again, these are just areas of focus. These are just areas of focus that we're going to review over today. Can you hear me?
No, mine's picking up more feedback.
It's important to remember that these are just, again, areas of focus. Everybody is different, so communication is, especially with oral. So here's a great question. Do you know the anatomy of a vulva?
I do not. I haven't been able to actually like explore that realm. I do have some trans friends and stuff that have offered, or just we haven't gotten to that place. So it's something that I'm, open to, but I haven't had the experience with that myself. So I don't know. But we do have a diagram on it.
Yes, we do have a diagram that we can queue up. Yeah, we do have a diagram that we're going to queue up right here.
Yep, it's right here, right in front of us.
As you can see, this
Right
the area up top is where you'll see the pubic hair. We'll be focusing a little bit more on the middle part right there, which is the clitoris. You have the bladder opening, the vaginal opening, the Bartholin glands. Do you know what those are?
I do not.
Those are the glands that make people squirt.
Oh, okay.
So there is a thing of vaginal ejaculation. It is not pee, and it actually comes from those glands.
Okay.
Yep. So then you have the labia minor, which is the inner lips, the labia major, which is the outer lips, and then you have the anus.
Yeah.
And
so,
same thing on when you were talking about, it's the same anatomy where you have that area in between the anus and the Bartholomew gland, like right in the middle, is the how do you pronounce this?
Okay.
So you'll have the same thing right there.
Yeah. So like the conversations I have had with some of my friends, because we've openly talked about it, is just what doesn't get attention, especially because they'll tell me they'll be with either straight men or just people in general that they're not used to. That is, you need to focus on the clit. So a lot of the head of the penis.
Absolutely, absolutely. The clit is actually the most sensitive part of the vulva. Again, has the most nerve endings. That is definitely an area of focus. I've talked to many trans men. I've talked to women. It is a common thing where a lot of people forget to focus on. Everything else is kind of secondary. But again, what I've also been told is because it being so sensitive, some people don't like it. Like they like maybe technique. When we dive a little bit into technique, some people will say the ice cream method is the best, where you're just casually licking. Whereas some people say no, sucking will cause too much, right? So again, it's a preference of your partner, who you're dealing with. Always constant communication. Another thing that I was told is reaching up behind and hitting the G spot, which is about 2 inches inside of the 2 inches inside the vaginal cavity. Come hither motion. So it's almost like this.
Okay.
And you'll know it when you feel it. It's ribbed, and you'll slowly kind of massage that area as you're licking the clit. And that, what I've been told, is probably the best sensation. So again, it's based on your partner, but based on the critiques and the things that I've heard, that is the best way to go as far as oral on a vulva.
Okay. Good to know. That's noted for any future.
So let me ask you this question. Do you believe people have to be pros at oral?
No, again, it comes back to communication. If you're just starting out, if it's something that, do oral than other things, then just listen to the person you're doing stuff with, but also you don't have to be a pro for it. Like, you'll get there if that's something you enjoy. The main part is not that you have to be a pro, but that you're enjoying what you're doing. Because if you feel like it's something that's forced, or feel like something that you just aren't like having fun with, enjoy, and then they can probably find someone that actually enjoys that, and then you can, I'm not going to get into the poly talk, but like, we can work around it, I guess. So
I would say the best advice I can give somebody who isn't a pro or is afraid, don't be afraid. One, it helps if you like what you're doing. It helps if you're having fun with your partner. It makes everything less nerve-wracking, less anxiety, less stressful. You don't have to be a pro, just talk.
yeah,
Communicate. Talk to your partner. Ask them questions. You know, questions are sexy.
they are.
It means you care.
Exactly. It's because they can sense that you're doing this for their pleasure, not for your pleasure. Because if you're just, oh no, I know what I'm doing, that sort of thing. Like even for me, I can say I know what I'm doing, but I still communicate with someone. I ask, is this okay? I ask, those sort of things. You can change it into something that you're actually doing that's more like, verbal kind of play. So you can actually change it to be, oh yeah, you like that, like in more of a dirty talk kind of way. But it's, however you do it, just constant feedback back and forth between both of you is what's key, honestly.
So again, I guess like, what are some things you would and don'ts of oral? What are some of your do's and don'ts?
So I think for me, like teeth is a don't. That's like kind of like a. However,
Unless asked.
unless asked, but I do have like a mini story time that I met someone that literally asked me to chew on them while they were in my mouth. So it was like because they enjoyed the pain of it in a way. So like at first I was a little bit afraid saying like the amount that they wanted. And then there's some people that I've met in general that I'm doing something, they're like, watch your teeth. And I'm like, girl, it just kind of depends. I guess other do's is you don't have to just suck. You can, lick, you can take it the side, like slap it on your face a little bit, which it sounds funny and you see it in porn, but that's something that you can do because sometimes people like the slapping.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be on, but sometimes that part of it can get someone even harder or some stuff like that. So it's like, it just kind of depends.
I love how when we're talking, we're actually slightly motioning.
We're slightly motioning. Like,
Slightly
I don't know.
motioning.
I'm someone that it's like, I kind of have to show you how to do it, but I'm not going to put a thing on, like.
Same way. I'm
Yeah.
kind of slightly motioning. But no, I think that those are also very important. I think, one, again, talking, that's definitely a do. A don't for me would definitely be hygiene, like weird hygiene. Definitely making sure that the hygiene is in check. Making sure that we're washing ourselves regularly, making sure that we're clean, Fun fact, did you know that the vagina is self-cleaning?
Oh, okay. I mean, I know there's like a pH balance related thing too and all that sort of stuff.
That is all regulated by the
Yeah.
body. And that vagina is actually self-cleaning. So something that I was advised is never use, if you have a vagina or a vulva, do not douche. Do not use feminine douches. They are horrible for you. They will throw off your pH balance. It is definitely not advised. I don't even think they make them anymore, but they make I think it's like they make the feminine wipes. Don't even use those because a lot of them have sugars in them. A lot of them have perfumes. They are not good for you. It's best just a mild soap and water. That's the best that you can do. And if you want to,
I think another thing too is even if you're like if you're doing oral but it's not on a vagina, or like if you're doing, like cunnilingus, like you're eating ass, like also just clean it with water. You don't need soap and that sort of stuff because your body in general, when it's inside your body needs to like not have the soap in it. It kills. You have important bacteria inside of your body in general, no matter what orifice it is. You have important bacteria in there that protects you from certain things that if you use soap and that sort of stuff, it can dry you out. It can, you know, mess up just your overall anatomy. Like
Another fun fact that I don't think a lot of people know is hair, your pubic hair actually contains most sweat and odor. So if you want to sometimes get rid of some of the odor, or maybe you have some people like the odor, some people don't, sometimes how you can change that up is just a quick shave or a management of your pubic hair. That can actually help. They actually, for example, there's actually a cream that they make, a lotion now, for men who, okay, let's say you're clean, but you just, sometimes your body just gives off this natural funk or this natural odor. They actually make lotions now that actually hide and mask a lot of that scent. So if you're one of those people that, you know, you sometimes will have problems with like odor, or you've washed up, but you still have this natural bodily odor, they do make creams, they do make lotions that can actually help you with that.
Yeah, for me personally, one as a pup, but also just kinks and stuff of mine, I do like the more natural smell, like just because there's a lot of pheromones and stuff in your sweat and your musk and your, you know, so that's something I enjoy, because some people use things like poppers, that sort of stuff. If someone has like a good natural, like man scent, or, you know, whatever you want to call it, musk or whatever, sometimes I'll be like, oh yeah, I don't need poppers. I just need to like go up and sniff for a little bit. But the other thing, I guess, on the same like thing with you're saying it's a pro to like, you know, clean and stuff. A con for that though is if you're leaving soap on there, like, because there's guys that have, you know, let me wash up really quick or something, and then they don't.
It's in my notes.
Yeah, it's very like, don't leave soap on there. I don't want to like have a mouthful of Dove on my, you know.
Nobody wants a Libra 2000 mouth.
No.
Nobody wants that. It's really gross. I've actually had that done. It's actually happened to me, and it's not the funnest experience because you think you're gagging. He thinks you're gagging, and no, you're actually choking and on the soap.
Yeah.
It's not a cute experience. So yeah, if you are, you know, if you're in a rush, just make sure when you do clean yourself, that you wash away all of the soap residue. It's not a fun experience.
I mean, for me, I honestly just say if someone just washes with just water, like if it's that can honestly be fine. Like you just need to make sure that it's, you know, like it doesn't have to be soap sanitized. It's just wash away, you know.
Yeah, again,
the cheese. I don't know. You know,
not the cheese.
I mean, I didn't want a blue cheeseburger going down.
That's a whole different class.
That's a whole different type of.
But that's
still
different
with
class.
The cleanliness, okay? So, what other notes did you have on don'ts or do's?
Soap residue was a big one. What other things do I have? Douching. Again, different people like different things. I can't stress that enough.
Yep.
Communication is key, and sometimes we're always in a rush to just get the job done, and we don't always say, hey, how do you like this? Do you enjoy that? Is this okay? I think that's probably the sexiest thing any partner can do for another person, is just simply ask some questions, figure out what they like, what they don't like, and pursue forward with that.
Yeah. It always comes back down to communication, because there are some people, luckily now there's people that are actually even online saying, you know, come to me musky, or come, like, and they have that in their profiles, that sort of stuff. Don't be afraid to put that out there if that's something that you like, because if you're trying to attract certain people on certain apps and stuff, then that kind of weeds out the people that don't like that, and then it saves both of you time, because they're like, oh, well, this person kind of likes that, and I'm not into that. Even though they might be hot, like, I don't want to deal with that. Or maybe it might be like, oh, that person's so hot that I might just try it anyways, you know?
And I guess another tip for people who don't like giving oral, don't like putting a penis in your mouth. Again, just be gentle with yourself, be patient with yourself. It's not that big of a deal. People have yucks, people have yums. It's okay. Like, don't be forced to do something you're not comfortable in doing. Right. If your partner is saying, oh, well, it's a deal breaker, then I mean, maybe I hate to say it, I don't want to be I'm not a relationship expert, but maybe that might not be the person for you. You know what I mean? You should never be forced into any sort of sexual
If it's a deal breaker,
situation.
then you're like, okay, well, it's broken. So, you know, what else are you going to do?
Don't allow people to force you into sexual situations that you are not ready for or you are not comfortable doing. That's
Yeah.
a big one.
And also, don't try to do more than you think you can do, too. Because there are some people that are pretty big, and, you know, don't try to go for the whole 11 inches. You're not me. So, like,
You're not me.
yeah, exactly. But
Leave it to the experts.
exactly.
Go at your own pace.
But you can also, I mean, some people are like no hands, but some people like hands. You know, that you need that extra help. Or you need, even if it's just cupping, you know, the balls or something like that, like sometimes use your hands. Oral doesn't have to just mean only oral.
Right.
It can be your hands. It can, just like even if you're eating out a vagina, like you were saying, like the licking and, you know, the
Feel
fingers.
for the clit.
Exactly. Like,
Come hither.
exactly. Like
Come hither and ice cream.
it-
Come hither and ice cream.
Oral
Perfect
is
combo.
maybe the main thing that you're doing, but it's not the only thing that you're doing.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. Well, that's all I have. Books and references. There are plenty of references and books that you guys can find on Amazon. I looked it up this morning. But again, nothing is going to really get you in the groove unless you're just putting yourself out there and just exploring.
Yeah. Do you have
Alright.
any other story or anything like that that you want to tell the people, tell the kids, well, not the kids.
Tell the children?
Educate the
Educate the
youths.
children? Yeah, if you're not into gagging, don't gag, because that can sometimes end in a
True.
horrible, don't.
I will say, on the other hand, if you don't gag, like if you just normally don't, like if you force yourself to gag a little bit, sometimes it can give more saliva, that sort of stuff with it. Or if you like choke, like maybe you're not actually choking on it, but like if you kind of start choking while it's in your mouth, like because you force it to, that can actually sometimes help get deeper a little bit and that sort of stuff, because you're helping. Usually when you're choking and coughing and stuff, your mouth starts making more spit. So that's kind of a thing that I actually started doing on purpose.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and sometimes some people are like, oh yeah, I'm making you choke. I'm like, no, you're not, but I'll let you keep living in that fantasy, girl.
I just need more saliva.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess actually going back, another pro, at least for me, is like the puppy dog eyes when you're looking. I don't know. It works for me, but I'm a pup. So
it's kind of I was going to say that's kind of a given.
exactly.
That's definitely a given.
Yeah. But yeah, there's other things that we have to also talk about. We do have a bar night coming up soon.
Yeah, let's go into our announcements.
Yeah, let's go into our announcements.
So we have the ONYX Midwest Bar Night coming up. It is our pledge bar night, which I'm very excited about. Our pledge line, the Nasty Boys, will be hosting this event at Jackhammer.
Yep.
The theme will be leather
and lace.
I will be
So-
in my finest attire.
I will be in leather and lace probably, or fishnet too.
It might be orange.
You know, or it might be, you know, mesh. Like,
I'm assuming it will be orange.
no, usually
Really?
I
Okay.
usually like black fishnet or lace and that sort of
Okay.
stuff, and then I'll have like orange accent pieces on it and stuff. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
And then again, just bringing up the toy box again. So if you go online and, or I think is there a number? Possibly?
There might be a link below.
There is if you go to
There might be a
Project
link in the comments.
Yeah.
Click the link, go to the link, click on the link, fill out the form, and once you fill out the form, we'll send you a test. Again, everything's private, everything's discreet. You send the test back, you get a box full of goodies, like a box full of stuff that can spice up the bedroom, spice up your love life. You know, it could be a various of things, right? So I've seen what's in the box. It's some good stuff, some very valuable stuff.
You could even practice some of your oral skills on one of the toys that are in there. So
What do you think this is for?
exactly.
Well, that's all I think that's everything. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us for this month with Toy With Me. Again, my name is Major Miner. I'm the road captain of ONYX Midwest.
And I am Cariño Blaze, ONYX.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.